As the leader of the Booner Path, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
Oh, we are live. Crunch Time Sports, Jeff Iafrate and Booner. Wednesday, August 6th, we are back. Day of the doc. Day of the doc.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
We have the DOC on today. They'll be talking to us about his training camp observations, storylines, rumors, news. We were at training camp today, so we will talk about what we noticed, what stood out to us. We'll talk about the preseason game coming up a little bit. Tomorrow we'll get into it more, but packed show today on a Wednesday, really.
Yeah, I'm pumped up. Should be a fun day. The doc is hopping on today. It's the doc Wednesday, I guess. Maybe it's going to be the doc Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday moving forward. Who knows? We might have to be flexible and start moving the doc segment around. I don't know. But we were at training camp today. It was a fun day at training camp. It was a beautiful day out. A little muggy, but a lot of interesting things today. And also, dude, congrats on your little show at 6 o'clock. That was a fun watch. All of those boys there, Will, Justin, and Colton, dude. It's a great hour show, honestly. And it's just like three of the best in the business coming together and talking ball.
Yeah, I appreciate that. If you it was fun, man. We had our debut episode of Lions Collective today, which it's one of the featured channels here on Crunch Time Sports. You can go check that out. Me, Colton Pouncey from The Athletic, Justin Rogers, Detroit Football Network, and Will Birchfield, 97.1 The Ticket. We're doing a 4-man kind of panel talking about Detroit Lions. I don't even want to say it's just right now it's training camp preseason, but just Detroit Lions football in general. So it's every Wednesday, 6 o'clock p.m. sharp. We will be live. But yeah, I appreciate that, Boone.
Thought it was good. I mean, it's so many different perspectives. I know we were there, just kind of up in the stands, but those guys, like every day, even when fans aren't allowed there, they're at press conferences. Justin Rogers is one of probably the most tenured, if not the most tenured guy in that building when it comes to covering the Detroit Lions. So it's just it's a mix of different personalities, different opinions, and as well as people who are just on the field seeing this thing in action, actually talking, like hearing, Will just be talking about how he had a conversation with Alex Anzalone, and these guys actually have conversations with the players one-on-one and as well in kind of group settings. So it's a good hour of knowledge, especially for some Lions ball.
So Coach Walk, it's called Lions Collective. It's on YouTube. You type that into YouTube, Lions Collective. You'll see it. It'll be one of the first channels. I think we're about to hit 500 subs on there. It's something I'm doing to honestly connect with those guys. They're all great people. They're obviously well-known people in the community. So it's nice to be able to chop it up with them once a week. And we're going to cross collaborate and have some of those guys on our show here on Crunch Time. I'm excited for it. So yeah, building relationships, making content is what it's all about. And
pushing forward.
Yeah. The tenure stuff with Justin. I mean, he brought up things that we went to training camp today. We've been there 2 other days. But yeah, those guys see things that the fans. It's interesting. They brought up the quarterback 2 battle, for example, and I thought that was an interesting conversation because the fans have they have one perspective of both quarterbacks because we've seen it in the preseason and we see it when the fans go to training camp, but they see it every single practice. So when they're reporting that Hendon's having a good camp or Kyle Allen looks really sharp, people see Kyle Allen in the preseason game and this guy stinks. But yeah,
you wrote him off.
But then there's the media, and they're like, well, no, dude, Kyle Allen, he's we know what he is, but he's looked sharp all camp. This is just what we see. Same with Hendon. So it's funny hearing their perspective. They're not as obviously quarterback 2. You always want to try and upgrade, but they're not as harping on it as fans are. Well, it's interesting to get their perspective on that stuff for sure.
For sure, it's a different outlook. Definitely a different outlook.
Yeah. And again, we were there today. We got to see practice. They weren't hitting. But we have takeaways. I mean, there's things we got to see. And I think the biggest thing and where we should start is with some more positive stuff from today, which I got to say, the defense, Boone, that's kind of what we talked about most of when we were there watching training camp is the defense. And Anzalone, we'll get to the players at 8:30 because they spoke as well. We'll show some of what they said. But the defense, Anzalone even said, he just feels like we're beating them a lot of the time. It doesn't mean that the offense is bad or anything. It just means we're both sides of the ball have new coordinators. It just feels defensively they're ahead of the curve a little bit, I guess, than the offense. Doesn't mean the offense won't get there, but every day we've attended training camp, our takeaway has been this defense looked really good again. And today, even though they weren't hitting, the defense looked really good again today. Like there was forcing incompletions, getting pressure. They did that pretty consistently. They were disruptive. Anzalone and Jack Campbell obviously did their thing. And even without Terran Arnold, they looked pretty good again today, Boone. So I got to say, the defense, I'm excited. I think I don't know if it'll translate into the regular season. It's training camp. A lot of things don't translate. Not a lot of things, but there are things that don't translate. I don't know if the defense being this good is going to translate. I really do hope so. And if it does, this team's going to be a problem. All right. Because the defense consistently they've been getting the edge on the offense right now.
I'll say this, Jeff. One thing I didn't realize in watching the show at 6 there, one thing I can't remember who it was that brought it up, and we should have realized this instantly, and that's on us for not noticing it, but that left tackle position, that with the ones, I believe, was Giovanni Manu, because there's no Taylor Decker in live reps, and Dan Skipper is out. And I can't remember, someone brought it up that, hey, this defense is playing, and Kelvin Shepard, they're playing into, hey, let's throw Hutch on that side. Let's throw some blitzes on that side. We know that's the weaker side right now because of Giovanni Manu being there. So that's why I think I didn't put it together, and we did videos today, and me and you on the drive back, we're talking like, hey, this defense just looks like this offense can't get anything going. And the number one takeaway for us, at least for me, was like, it all stems from a guy like Aiden Hutchinson just blowing the play up instantly, and Jared Goff literally just getting no time. Like, he had it felt like every single possession and every drill they did, whether it was situational drills, red zone, whatever it was like, dude, this guy has zero time to get the ball out. By the time he gets into his drop back, there's a defender next to him. And they started making, obviously, it's starting to kind of go viral a little bit, the new rule about Hutch being, it's called like the Hutch rule, that they're stopping the play. They're not stopping the play. They're letting it play out, even if Hutch gets there, because it's getting so fast. But I think they're taking advantage of that, and the O-line kind of was struggling a little bit with that today. I think once Taylor Decker gets back, things are going to start flipping a little bit more. And that was a point that we didn't really think of, and I heard it. It might have been Justin that actually brought it up, or someone brought it up, to where that offense will change as soon as Taylor Decker's back, and it's going to look like a different offense, and you're actually going to get a real feel of what they're going to look like. Because I think you agree with me, Jeff. Yeah, the defense did dominate today, like at a different level. It was just constantly. JMO was dropping passes, the interception. They literally multiple times
they're throwing. Jared's throwing the ball away, just throwing the ball away.
And it's not a thing that like Jared just can't make a play. Like he just can't make a play. And we know Jared can make plays. It's just he's not getting enough time to be able to make plays. And with that, you're not getting to look at the offense. And we can give kudos to the defense all we want. And they are playing, Jeff, extremely well. They look very good. But offensively, it's just hard to get a look. And the big thing offensively that stood out to me, and we talked about it when we did the video earlier, just Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta. That just seems to be like that safety blanket that today, when they needed plays to be made, it just kept going back to those two every single time. No one else. It was just those two guys, bang, 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 every single time they had some sort of completion. So I wouldn't say it's something for anyone to worry about, the offensive struggles. It was similar last year at the start of training camp. I remember when we were going there, defense was having good days, and we were like, okay, what's going on here? I think it's just a similar – they're trying to figure this thing out, and it's even harder to try and figure out this new offense with a new offensive coordinator when you just don't have a healthy offensive line, especially at the left tackle position, which essentially is the most important position for Jared Goff's blinds, trying to get the ball out. So you're not going to get that full look until then.
Yeah, I mean, bless Manu's soul, but he's just – you could tell. I mean, he's still a work in progress. They missed Taylor Decker. Dan Skipper's dealing with an injury. Even when Dan Skipper was out there, Aiden was tearing up plays. So it's not even
every play. It felt like
it's more of an Aiden thing. He's just so good. It's just not really fair. You know, you're just finding out they're going to face players of that caliber, obviously, during the season. So you got to be ready for it. But you're right. When Decker gets back, it'll help. And it's not even about where this offensive line starts. It's where they finish. You want to see this offensive line by the end of the year look like, okay, that's a legit O-line. Like that's the O-line we want to roll with for the foreseeable future. Week 1, people shouldn't be panicking if they don't look like a top 5 O-line. It's not the time to panic quite yet. And I think this is interesting too. And actually, Justin brought this up when we were doing the show, Justin Rogers, and he mentioned in something I've noticed watching the press conferences, because we watch it. We actually had this discussion. Graham starting at center is 1,000% a John Morton and Jared Goff decision. Like that is 1,000% a decision made by them. Because if you watch, and obviously Dan, they care about their opinion. So Dan obviously weighs in on that. But when you look at Jared Goff's press conference, it was really he was talking to the media. It was like a media scrum or whatever you want to call it. But he said, yeah, me and Graham we've built rapport, him at center. Like he talked about his comfortability with Graham. And then he mentioned how Tate's been doing a good job, but he hammered the relationship he has with Graham. That's something to pay attention to. Obviously, Jared likes having Graham out there. He's experienced. He's played games with Graham. They've already hinted at Graham playing right guard and doing center responsibilities. Might as well just play him at center. And John Morton talked about he values experience at center. So it's like, I think it's going to be a case of Frank Ragnow, where he starts at guard his rookie year, and then second year, and for the foreseeable future in his entire career, he plays center. That's just the reality of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I guess I could say I was wrong with that one, because I was one of the ones that was saying, hey, just get Tate in there because eventually it's going to happen, which I think we all can agree eventually.
Most people thought that way, though. Like, you're not alone.
Yeah, I think we all know, though, and we have an idea, hey, Tate's going to probably be the center of the future. My thought process was just, hey, just rip the Band-Aid off. Just get it going. The way it is broken down, and you do think about it, you guys talked about it at 6 today, was, yeah, it's why. The sentence that I loved with that was, why would Graham be playing guard and center and having both of those responsibilities when he could just play center? I think Will was one that said that. And it makes so much more sense. And I was dead wrong with that, thinking, hey, just get Tate in there. Let him roll. Like, he's going to have to learn it at some point. But especially if you're a quarterback, if Jared Goff is sitting there going, I just want familiarity. That's what I want. And we can work on it throughout the year with Tate. And then the next offseason, we can start next offseason from the jump. And I'll work with Tate and we'll figure that out. And Tate's another year into this offense. He knows the offense more. He's a year into the NFL. And he's able to grasp the offense and NFL kind of play a little bit more. So I don't hate that fact, honestly. I think this offensive line, once they do get Taylor Decker back, I don't think it's going to be. There's a lot of people like, oh, it's outside the top 10. It's a top 10 O-line still. You know.
When
you have Panay, and in my opinion, when you have Taylor Decker as well, I think Taylor Decker's top 20 at his position. And then Christian Mahogany, very underrated player. No one's really talking about that enough. In camp,
how does he look like?
In camp, Christian Mahogany, at least the practices we've been to, he's dominating. Like, we've seen him throw guys to the ground. And yet, dude, I saw him take Tyleik Williams from the middle of the field on a run play and literally take him to the sideline. And that's not a joke. I told the boy, I was sitting there with Jeff and Easy, and I go, look who's over at the sideline right now. And Tyleik's like, it looked like Tyleik was coming in, subbing in from a play. No, he was in the middle of the play, started with Christian Mahogany at the line of scrimmage, and somehow got all the way. And Christian Mahogany took Tyleik all the way to the sideline. So it's like, hey, Christian Mahogany's looking very good right now. And you would think, and in my opinion, Jeff, my humble opinion, Tate Ratledge might be your biggest offensive lineman. That dude is huge. He's massive. He towers over everyone on that O-line. And he is just a filthy player. Like, he is powerful. And once he just learns the game and at this level, and he gets it, I think he's going to be good, fine week 1 at the end of the day. I think it's just get reps in, get used to it, and he's going to be good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I see Xavier's comment. Our offense started out a little slow. You actually brought this up earlier in a video we put out, which was a great point. I think it comes down to, though, if your offense is going to start slow, that's okay. You just have to be ready to play complementary football. You need the defense to step up. Like, you got to win a game. You got to win a game 2017 then, or 23-20. Something it's easy to say that if you're winning games. Like, the Lions won that Rams game, and you were like, oh yeah, I mean, it's fine, the defense and whatever. And then against the Bucks, they didn't look great and they lost. So you were like, okay, well, the offense needs to get it together here, because you can't afford to drop games early. And we know how dangerous that can be, especially you look at just they always come out with those graphics, teams to start 1-3 or teams to start 0-2. It's like all these playoff things. So I get that. I'm not going to overreact to the offense start slow, but that defense better be ready to play then if that's the case, which I don't deny. I'm not doubting they will be. So
I do have a question. Okay, this is something that I thought about today because when you have that conversation about how bad the offense, not as bad as they've been, but the struggles that they've had based off of no Taylor Decker, and that defense has been able to kind of scheme in practice against Taylor Decker and that left tackle being a second and third string left tackle. Like, that's obvious. I'm interested in, and I think it needs to go both ways. This defense has been dominating because they've been able to take advantage of a hurt left tackle for this Lions defense or offense.
Oh yeah.
I want to see when Taylor gets back, is this defense going to still be doing what they're doing, or are they going to take a small step down because they're not, like, Kelvin Shepard's not able to scheme and practice against that? Because that's obviously what's happening is they're taking advantage of that, right? Like, all the blitzes are going that way. They're putting Hayden Hutchinson on. Me and you've seen it. They've put Hayden Hutchinson on Manu. They've put him on Dan Skipper constantly, every single time, it feels like. So at what point is it, hey, when they do get back and healthy, is this defense going to be able to keep doing what they're doing, or are they going to take a small step back? You see what I'm saying? I feel like it does have to go both ways where, hey, they look really good because of the players that are out for the Lions offense. All right, what happens when they get back? Can this defense keep this momentum and keep this thing up?
Yeah, and again, we understand fully it is training camp. So you look at things, you dissect things, but they're not always the Bible, okay? Obviously, we understand that. I want to bring up this Visionary Roar. Appreciate that. $2. Appreciate it. He says, can't wait for joint practice. That's the big one right there, Visionary Roar. Joint practice, because then you get to see how you match up with other teams with pads, you know, and the Texans and the Dolphins aren't pushovers. So at least there's that. So they should be pretty competitive. I think that'll be a good measuring stick for the O-line, to be honest with you. So you'd rather, and like Hudat said, you'd rather than make mistakes in training camp, you know. But it is something we're stating what we've noticed, you know, like that's been reported. So it's a fact, but it's not the end all be all. All right. So we'll see how this kind of progresses. Joint practices. When are joint practices? They have what, the Dolphins first or the Texans first?
Yeah, Dolphins. It looks like August 13th. It's next week, I believe. Well, it's whenever those teams come into play the Detroit Lions. So next week, the Dolphins will be in town. They might have joint practices without fans. I don't know how many days they'll do it, but with the fans, I think it's the 13th and the 14th. And then for the Texans, it's that last week, the 21st. I'm sure they're going to practice without fans in attendance. So next week and then the week after. And then after that, football starts, like real football.
Brad Holmes spoke to 97.1 The Ticket this morning, and went into different topics. I want to bring up what he said on Za'Darius Smith. We'll dive into what he said on Hutch and Anzalone. He had 3 things he said. He talked about. So the first thing is what he said about Za'Darius. So let me play the clip. This is from 97.1, and we'll give our thoughts on that. Shout out to Easy for clipping this.
Za'Darius Smith, not an elite edge, right? I know that was a different conversation. Za'Darius is still out there. Is there interest on your side?
Yeah, look, you know, Za'Darius did a lot of good things last year for us, and we said we're going to keep in contact with his agent. But, you know, it's not – everything's not just one-sided. You know, Za'Darius has expectations. The team has expectations. So sometimes it takes a while for those things to get on the same page, especially a guy, you know, that's been in the league as long as he has. You know, I'm sure that, you know, I'm not saying that he doesn't want to be in training camp, but, you know, if he misses some time. So, you know, there's obviously still interest there. And, you know, we've been keeping in touch.
How have you seen those?
So Brad spoke about Za'Darius. He obviously feels pretty similar to how he felt when he first commented, which was, hey, he did at the owners meeting, I think, where he's like, hey, we're in contact with his agent. He knows what it is. That's kind of all we have. You know, there's nothing. He mentioned that maybe he insinuated a little bit, or I just like to say he insinuated that maybe he's missing training camp because he doesn't want to participate.
He definitely did insinuate that.
Common theme with older guys, maybe like that are free agents. It's like, well, I ain't participate in this. You know, I've done 8 of these, 9 of these, 10 of these, 11 of these. I'll just wait. All right, I know what my job is. It's to get the quarterback. When you're ready for me, I'll I'll join the squad. All right. But until then, I'm going to chill here, go on vacation, train, and do my thing. I don't know which side of the coin I'm on. I'm more confident, obviously, now. I'm a little more confident than I was that Za'Darius will return. And I think Brad understands it too. Like, hey, this team with Za'Darius is better. They just are. I don't know whether it's a term thing. And you mentioned this earlier, which I agree with. Is it a term thing? Is it a year's? Is it the price point? Is it more than just, I want to skip training camp? I like to think it is. I think there's more to it. But they're still in contact. He hasn't signed anywhere else. We haven't seen any reporting that there's other teams that are, dialing the phone and trying to get him. I'm sure he's had some other teams contact him, but seems like he wants to be in Detroit, Booner. It does.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you could take it whatever way you want, because Brad kind of did say both there, that, hey, it's a two-sided thing, and he insinuated it could be, it could be a contract situation, or as well as could just be a thing where he just doesn't want to be at camp, which, again, like Brad said, like he's fine with that. They just want to obviously get something done sooner rather than later, so they know what they have in their building. Listen, I've been the guy on this show who's been saying, just stay patient. Za'Darius will be a Detroit Lion at some point. When camp started, I did tell you, Jeff, hey, I'm going to take a step back a little bit. I was at what was my percentage? Maybe 90%, 95%, almost at 100, that he was going to sign with the Detroit Lions. When camp hit and he wasn't there, I was like, okay, I'm going to take a step back, maybe 60, 70%. I'm back at 95%. He will be a Detroit Lion. I think it's just a matter of time at the end of the day. It's just
wait, where were you at?
95%. 95%. Za'Darius Smith will be a Detroit Lion. The sounds of it is that Brad did not sound worried at all, and that they obviously have had contract discussions, because he does bring up, hey, it takes two sides to basically tango there. And he says, hey, we're still in contact, and he just really doesn't want to be at camp. So, I mean, he literally lays it out on the table for the people. That's it. We'll say this, the doc was right, even though I'm not going to, the doc was right with that one, to where the doc's just like, hey, it's boat season. He wants to be on the boat, and he's dating Cash Doll. It's just like, where would you rather be? On a boat, hanging out with Cash Doll, or would you rather be at training camp? At that age and the money that he's made, he probably was like, I just want to be out of my boat. I saw today on his Instagram story, he's driving one of those four-wheelers, and he got it stuck, and the guy's just out there having fun. So he's in no rush probably to get back, and he's probably staying in shape, and he's good to go. And as soon as he comes back, whether you disagree with me or not, this is not a wrong statement, Jeff. He's your second best edge rusher right away. The guy had 9.5 sacks last year. I think around 6 or 7 with the Detroit Lions alone. That's going to be your second best edge rusher. And he will be in the building, hopefully, by the start of September. You would hope, right? That Brad gets this thing done.
It'll be the best thing for Marcus Davenport, I think, too. It just would be so good.
Takes weight off his back, man.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about all those snaps. You have a rotation. You don't have to worry about injury. It takes a little bit, not even just figurative pressure, literal pressure. He doesn't have to put pressure on his body as much as he would have to, and all of that wear and tear on his body throughout the season if Za'Darius Smith's in the building with him.
Well, D-Ray says, you think Alex will be pissed if they give out more money to Smith and not him? I think it'll be – I don't think he'll be mad if it's a one-year deal.
It's such a night and day difference thing with Za'Darius and Anzo, though, because Anzo wants a long-term deal, and he wants to be paid where, as a linebacker, 10+ million. I don't think Za'Darius is going to touch 10 million. I think I could be wrong. He could end up getting 10. There are some edge rushers, vets that are getting 10, 11. My guess, it's like a 1 year, $8 million deal.
Yeah, probably. It would have to be in the ballpark. It would be 1 million, or excuse me, 1 year.
I was about to say, woo.
No, not 1 million.
If it's 1 million, hey, get that deal done.
No, 1 year.
I'll pay that.
It has to be 1 year. I don't see Brad giving him a 2-3 year deal. I don't. I don't see it at all.
No, not at all. So, no, dude, at the end of the day, I think this deal gets done. What is your confidence level? Because you've been one. Klotz said it was at like a 5%. You were one that was like, well, I think I'll give it, what did you say, 30, 40%? You kind of changed gears on
higher.
it.
I'm probably about a 50-50.
50-50. What's the 50 that's like he's not going to get this done? Why are you saying that?
I think it's a term thing. Like I'm worried that the Lions that he doesn't want a 1 year deal. I don't know. That's just the feeling I get. Maybe I'll go 60-40.
Don't you think though, if he hasn't been signed by the Lions, if he wanted a longer than 1 year deal and that was on the table with a different team, that he would have already taken that deal with a different team?
Wants the Lions to give it to him. I don't know, and you're probably right. I'm not quite where you're at, but I'm more confident than I was. I'll say that, and then you have Judon to fall back on if you can't get him. So, we'll speak. Speaking of Hutch, he was asked about the Hutch extension. Him and Hutch haven't had much dialogue recently about it.
That's shocking. Yeah, that is shocking.
Did you take that as is that more? You think you look at that as a negative, or is it like I don't care? Who cares? What do you?
No, I think if that happened, my theory. I don't know any insides or anything, but my theory, Jeff, would just be if they don't have dialogue, that probably means maybe Hutch's camp reached out and said, hey, we're going to let the year play out, and we're going to let Hutch go out there and do what he did last year, the first 5 weeks, and we're going to let him put a full season under his belt. And if he does that, Jeff, then he's more than deserving of one of those $40 million deals at the end of the day, right? If he puts up a season like that, you got to give him the $40 million next year. But if right now, if you give him the deal, you could, you know what Hutch is, but the accolades and the stats and everything doesn't line up to $40 million. So you're probably saying, hey, we'll get you the 37, 38. So his team's probably comfortable and speaking with Aiden Hutchinson saying, let's just wait this one out. Because if there was no dialogue, that's the only reasoning why there would be.
It would be
dialogue.
Hutch's camp. You're right. It would be Hutch's camp, and they probably have seen how dominant he's been in camp. They're like, this guy's gonna be massive year.
Because a month ago, Brad mentioned himself that they had conversations about it. That it wasn't like they've never had dialogue. When they were at I believe it was the league meetings or whenever media spoke with Brad, and someone did ask about the Hutch deal. He did say, we've had conversations like that's in the works right now. Like we're working through it. So it has come out that Aiden Hutchinson and the Lions have spoken about a contract at some point, and they were working on an extension. Now all of a sudden we have no dialogue.
I think Hutch is just taking a chance on himself, really. I think he's just going to be like, well, I'm going to go out and get 15 and a half, 16 and a half, 17, whatever it is, sacks, and then you're going to have to pay me top money anyway. So, and then you obviously have Marcus Parsons who still needs to get paid. That we'll see how that out. It's probably smart. It's a little risky, obviously, but from Hutch's camp, I would say overall pretty.
Do you even think though at that point? I think it's risky for like players who haven't gotten injured. But I think the fact with Hutch already coming off an injury, he's probably at the and it's going to sound crazy saying this. His lowest is really good, but the fact that he had this long-term injury, that's probably the lowest. That's probably like his floor of what he'll be in the next few years for contract wise. So for him, it's easy because it's like, okay, I get hurt again. Now I just get the $38 million anyways. Like they're still going to pay me. They're still going to give me an extension after this year. And it's probably going to end up being $38 million. So to him, it's like a win-win. It's, hey, there's an injury risk. I get injured. I still probably get around the same amount. If I end up having the biggest year of my career and winning Defensive Player of the Year, I break the market, right? I reset the market.
Well, Brad also commented on Anzalone. He said this: "It's normal football business. We value Anzalone highly. He's getting a little longer in the tooth, but he's still performing well." Anzalone actually spoke to the media too, which I'll play his interview actually in a second here. I'll play what he said because he honestly, it seems like Anzel's just over the contract stuff. I think it's just pretty much, hey, let's be adults about this. I'm not returning to the Lions. Okay, that's probably not going to happen because Anzo and his agent feel that he should get paid, and I agree. I think Anzo should get paid. The level he's playing at right now, he should get taken care of. The Lions just can't do it.
That sucks.
They just can't afford it, unfortunately, with all the players they have to pay. So,
can I be honest?
Yeah, go ahead.
We've had a lot of conversations the last 2 years. Who's going to be the players left out? I don't think I've ever heard once Anzel's name come up in all of that. And now he's ended up being the first player that's going to be left out.
It's always the one you don't expect.
Yeah. Because no one ever thought, like, hey, Anzel's going to want, like, a big, big deal. I mean, he has played well. Like, you can't – I mean, the man wants money, which you can't blame him. He's got a family to take care of. Why I get comments all the time. I don't know if you get these, Jeff, but when I put stuff out about contracts, I see people be like, well, this player's made $40 million in his career. He's good. He doesn't need to worry about money. I mean, dude, when you're making that much money, man, you want to be able to get that money for your generations to go. And he's doing it right at the end of the day. Like, he deserves to get paid, and he's earned it at the end of the day.
He has level of play, what he's done, the leadership, the character, he's worth every penny. It's just I still think the Lions, they just can't do it, unfortunately. But he did speak to the media. We did hear the doc in this too. I'm going to play the whole interview, and then we'll talk about it after. But here's Anzalone talking to the media.
Say you're not in necessarily a battle, a competition battle, or whatever for a role or starting spot.
Sure.
You know, you can kind of just focus on like, okay, how do I be the best player and work with the guys next to me and kind of lean on each other and kind of build that chemistry as opposed to being like, you know, I'm just trying to do the right thing and you know what I mean, going hard and all that.
Does that take it to the advanced level? I mean, like just on both. I mean, what were you seeing just even defensively and also even across the way, offensively?
You kind of get that chemistry going and you can, instead of worrying about, you know, watching your back or whatnot, you can work on, you know, certain communication and getting used to playing with the guy next to you and playing together. And, you know, he goes there and I go there and things of that nature.
Dan said that, or acknowledged that the defense is a little ahead of the offense. Can you feel that? And does it feel any different from a year ago defensively?
I mean, ahead, I don't know. It's just, you know, we're battling out and it seems like we're, you know, for the time being coming out on top. But, you know, it's new coordinators on both sides. And, you know, sometimes it's maybe a little easier for the defense to get going. I don't know.
Does it give you a sense of relief that you got the contract out of the way and put you in a spot to have some more security? Give you more peace of mind having it all.
I mean, I'm glad it's done with. Yeah.
Have you been on a roster? I guess that's ever been set. I guess.
Yeah.
Top, I mean, we're like,
yeah.
No question marks.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah. In New Orleans, I have. Yeah.
And so, what was that like? I mean, what was the benefit of that?
I think it's kind of just like I've been mentioning. It's like you instead of trying to battle it out with each other, you're starting to focus on, you know, how we could get better for week 1 in Green Bay, and you know, when we see this look, what are we gonna do? You know, like those types of things.
Personally, you see what he said there? The doc's question, he just shut that one down.
He did not seem happy.
It was a fair
about
question.
That
like, hey, you feel more comfortable
he
with
just
extra security? He was like, what? Like that ain't like he wanted to probably be like, that ain't security, man. Like security would be giving me this contract.
What do they get? 250,000 more or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I think in total with incentives it was like potentially up to $1 million more.
Which is good. Listen, good.
Yeah, it's good.
Good for the Lions to even do it, but that's not really.
He wants millions more.
Yeah,
he's still only making if he that hits what 7-8 million maybe or 9. I don't even know if he would get up to 8 million. Where Derek Barnes, the third best linebacker on your team, is making the most this year. That's something, man. You could see why there is frustration.
Yeah, I that's why I do kind of I tend to sympathize with Anzo. I do understand kind of where he's coming from. I get both sides. It's a very tough situation. Like it's not a situation where you plant your flag in one spot. I mean, you kind of understand you understand the player perspective and you understand the organization's perspective. It's just business, but unfortunately people have to get hurt. And he is not going to be the only one. Get used to it. Guys are not going to be able to afford, unfortunately. One of the guys I don't think he might be able to afford if he keeps up this level of play is Christian Mahogany. He's going to be really good. And he's under contract for the next couple of years. But Brad Holmes might have found another one. Christian Mahogany started against the Bears. Shout out to the Bears fans in the chat, and did work. He did work against the Bears. Now, last year, of course. But Mahogany has had an excellent training camp. He and I found out this information, Booner, today, actually. Will Birchfield, 97 won the ticket. He said this, and I did not know this. Everyone goes home during the offseason. Mahogany stayed in Detroit, and he's been working out with Penei Sewell every day at the training facility.
Really?
Penei's one of the only players that stay home, stay in Detroit, because obviously he can't go back to the island. It's too far away. So he's made kind of a home in Detroit. So he stays in Michigan. But Christian stayed back this offseason and worked out with Penei every day. So Mahogany's been in the lab, dude, physically. So I found out that, and I was like, oh my gosh. No wonder he's already having a dominant camp. He's hanging out with Penei. They're the same age, essentially, even though Penei's been in the league for years. Will mentioned that. I could not believe that. It's crazy to think that I'm the same age as Penei Sewell.
That is nuts.
That's not
It's
right.
crazy that wait, hold on. It's crazy to think that I'm older than Panay Sewell by years.
That's insane.
I'm older by multiple years than Panay Sewell. That's
he's 11 days older than me, so it does not feel that way. His stature's not the same. But
how old are you?
I'm 24, and his birthday is October 9th. My birthday is October 20th.
So I'm 3 years older than Panay Sewell. Look at me.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's
I mean, what are we doing?
He's different. And in Mahogany, it seems to kind of be the same. He's nasty. He's a nasty player. He's been fun to watch. And I talked about this a couple months ago. I think he's going to be one of the breakout players. That
I like
see.
that.
And I just because I think when we talk about breakout players, it's easy to go say, this weapon or this player who can, it's usually like skill position players or quarterback or, DB. You forget about offensive linemen can break out. I mean, Mahogany by the end of the year, you might be like, this dude's the future at guard, By the way, Streams Only just called you Unk. So
27, Unk. I appreciate it. That's crazy.
But Mahogany spoke. Let me play the clip, and then we'll talk about Mahogany a little bit. But here's Christian speaking to the media.
A big part of this offensive line that sets the plan. Just your confidence level now, a couple weeks into camp and the regular season looming.
I wouldn't say my confidence has changed. I try to be the same every day. It doesn't matter, good play, bad play. It's the next play that matters. So the confidence doesn't change. You never could be too high. You never could be too low. So just stay steady.
Hey, Christian, how much do you enjoy the run blocking part of playing offensive line? That seems to be a part of the game that especially suits the physical nature of the way you play.
Oh, I've loved run blocking since college. Ever since I started playing offensive line in high school, that's when I kind of learned, watching tape on the guys that I learned from a young age. That's how they block. So I'm just trying to emulate a lot of that.
Who are those guys for you?
So, I didn't really play O-line to my junior year of high school. So I went on Madden, highest rated guy, looked at the overall, watch, like YouTube highlights. You don't get to see the all 22 real technique. So Trent Williams was big, Larry Allen. My dad was a Cowboys fan. So, Coach Campbell was probably on the team with my dad, So just getting some extra bonus crumbs there. But yeah, he was. So Larry Allen was a big guy for me. That's why I wear my number. A lot of people probably know that. So I just watch those guys try to, get the aggressiveness, see how they block, and then it's about your technique. D-line, I played nose, 3 tech, and whatever was asked. Safety. He's been here a while. So, me as a younger guy coming into it, we have a good group, older guys, Panay Sewell, Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow, guys that have been around, changes here for sure. So they emulate it, and Hank just, he keeps us all in check for sure.
Yeah, well, I will say this on Mahogany. I thought it was hilarious. He said he used to use Madden, actually.
Yeah, dude, Larry Allen, what a pull, dude. That's crazy. I didn't know that's why he wore the number he wore either. I had no clue that was why he had 73.
Yeah,
it's 73, correct?
Yeah, well, he plays. I think he mentioned in the thing in the video there when he was speaking to the media that his run blocking comes from Larry Allen. Like he sees how nasty he was, and he's like, I need to destroy people. So I'm like, okay, I like this guy. No wonder why the Lions.
Larry Allen, what a wow.
Yeah, that's how it is. And I found out today that the same left to right leg ratio that Mahogany has, Tarek Skubal has.
So I heard that, yeah.
So I don't know what it is. If you're born with one leg a different length than the other, you're
gonna be a dog.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when I have a kid, we're
Check
getting different leg ratios here. That's the goal.
So I found that, and Diggity Dog said, did he defer to Panay as an older guy? He does feel like a vet.
I think he did, and I think they are like the same age. So it is crazy.
He's been in the league for a couple
4 years, 5 years now. I do love the fact though that I do love the fact that Christian Mahogany is learning from Panay Sewell. If there was anyone, what I thought about this. I didn't say it then, but when Giovanni Manu was like, hey, I went and worked out with Taylor Decker in Arizona, and I went out there and stayed out there with him. At the beginning of that, he mentions, Jeff, he goes, I had the chance to either stay in Detroit and work with Panay. Or he said, and then Taylor called me and mentioned you can come work out there in Arizona. He's like, I figure Arizona, I'll do that. I would have rather had Giovanni Manu work with Penei Sewell in Detroit. Personally, like I feel like that's the best guy in the NFL. If you have an opportunity, I'm sure there's so many offensive linemen around the NFL that would be like, I would do anything to work out for a whole summer with Penei Sewell and just learn how he goes about his day, what he does, what his workout is. It's like being like in Los Angeles working out with Aaron Donald, right? One of the best in the game at the time.
Well, Jared Verse did that for the Rams.
For him, one of the greatest of all time. But with Penei, he's like the best in the game currently. You would think that a lot of these offensive linemen would just say, hey, Penei, can I just stay and work out with you all off season? And can you like just teach me technique, teach me everything, your lifting regimen, what you're eating, just how do you go about day-to-day life? So you're the best in the game. How do you get there? And Christian Mahogany, the reason he's going to be a breakout player this year, I would have to say part of that it's because he made that decision to say, hey, outside noise gone. I'm working with Penei all off season. That's the guy you want to work with.
Yeah, I think it was just theory. Probably had to do with like Taylor's his vet. He's been coaching him because apparently today he did the same thing. He went up to Gio after practice and talked to him. So I think he's been. It was
Taylor.
Yeah. So I think Gio's probably looking at it like you would probably want to rather work out with Penei, but it's
I guess so.
You got to do the vet. Like imagine being like, no, I'm good, Taylor. I'm gonna stay with Penei. And Taylor's like, bro, I've been trying to like take you under my wing and shit. You just curve my, I invite you out to work out with me, and you shut me down. I don't know. I would rather work out.
That'd be a little disrespectful, I guess.
Yeah, it's like
give me Penei though. I don't care, man. Give me Penei Sewell at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, look what it's doing for Mahogany. I mean, Mahogany stayed back and worked out with him. He's
going to be a breakout player this year. He's going to have a big year. I would do the same exact thing as him.
Yeah, he's Manu's another one this week. I'm excited to see if he can build on last week because he's going to get run.
Donkey Kong, crazy comment. Just what a comment, man. I mean, what a comment. Booner reproducing is probably just not a great idea. I appreciate it, Donkey Kong. What a pull, man.
I mean, that's you know what? That's sick. That's sick. That's what that is. Yeah. What a transition. Back to Giovanni Manu. I'm excited for him on Friday. He's a player I'm looking at.
Giovanni Manu.
Yeah, let's just transition back. Because last week he had a decent game. He's kind of the big one. You don't really know what to get at. You don't know what you're getting out of him. You don't. So the O-line looks promising.
He's starting left tackle too. That's his job, and he's going to probably have it most of the game. Because what's his name's out too? Is it Jamarco Jones or I hope I pronounced
Jamarco Jones?
He's Skipper. Out for the week. Dan Skipper, all those tackles that typically you would see at left tackle, all out. I'm interested to see how they do it. They might as well let honestly, Jeff, for development, you should just let Giovanni Manu play all 4 quarters. Just let that man get a run at it. Let him get a feel what a full game feels like, even though it's against backups. Just get a feel for it. Let him run for a full game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. They have another tackle. They don't really have much at tackle right now. They really don't. I guess is Nice? Could Nice? No, I think he's a guard. I think he could play tackle. They don't really have much at tackle. So I think for Gio, it'd be nice to get him just a full run. I'm with you on that. Like if you can, I
think it would be good for his development. I really do. Because last week he just gets a half of football. It's the second half. Like just let him get a full game.
Yeah, and see if he sinks or swims. I want to see if they give Hendon the full game. Honestly,
I don't think they will. No, they. I don't think so. I think
not the full game, but I'd let him roll like 3 quarters in.
It's going to go half and half. You're probably. It's probably going to. They probably did Nate Sudfeld. That's crazy. Kyle Allen in the first half, and then they're just going to swap it this game, and then maybe in the second, third game they give each of them more of a run to get it better idea.
Yeah, and it goes the same for Kyle. I'd like them both to play like a majority of a game. I mean,
they'll probably do that games 2 and 3 is my guess, or 3, 4.
I'd like to see him get a little more run, just so you can see. I mean, because rep wise, Kyle Allen's not going to have. Knock on wood, but you're not going to get the opportunities during the season unless Jared goes down. So just give these guys run in an actual game. and see if what they've done at training camp will translate a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, I think at some point someone's got to stand out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like someone has to be able to be like, okay, this is, and right now I don't know if it's going to be from what I'm seeing and hearing, and on the what Justin Rogers had mentioned on the show you were on at 6, that in practice Hendon, you can argue outside of like JMO, he said is the second most improved player on the field this offseason. But you do have to see it on the field, right? You have to see it in game action. So I think it's for Kyle Allen and Hendon Hooker. I think it's going to end up being the first quarterback that really shows and takes a step forward in game action. And in right now, Jeff, I don't know who it's going to be. I couldn't tell you. Hendon right now has the upper hand because he's the one that's going in the first half this week.
Here we go. I want to address this, Jesse. Jeff, I'm sorry I didn't hear you I didn't hear you talk about this, but are you officially out on Hooker?
He is.
I'm not out on Hooker. I'm not. Wait, what's
Sure.
what's that line from Wolf of Wall Street? I'm back. Or would you say with Leonardo DiCaprio? He said, I ain't fucking leaving. That's me.
All-time movie.
That's with me and Hendon Hooker. I'm not leaving. All right. Until I'm absolutely forced out the door.
I thought you did say you left.
It might be one of those situations where, remember you maybe you go to like a friend's house, maybe you don't know that friend too well. He's having like a little get together, maybe a housewarming party, and you go over there. And then at the end of the night, you're like, I'm trying to leave, but you don't want to be rude. So you start kind of walking towards the door. Like that's like the Hendon Hooker stuff. I haven't left, but I'm just kind of looking at that door going.
You're getting a feel for the room. You're getting ready. Hey, are people leaving yet?
Yeah.
You're one of those people that are just like, once the first person leaves, you're
I'm looking.
Okay, see you guys. Fun time tonight.
I'm eating like the chips and salsa, and I'm just like, we'll see what happens,
Chips
But I haven't
and salsa
left
is
yet.
funny, man.
Haven't left yet. All right, let's bring in our guy here. Okay, covers the Detroit Lions for Sports Illustrated, host of the Lone Wolves podcast. He does content. He does articles. He's versatile. The DOC joins us every single Wednesday. Now he's running multiple shows on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It is the DOC. What's going on, John Mack? How you doing?
Fellas, good evening. Let's go. I'm fired up. I learned something about Jefe. Jefe, you're into foursomes, huh? I guess you like it with the media. You're down with the foursomes, huh? 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. I liked it. It was good.
Hey, Doc, sounds like you like 6 p.m.s on Wednesdays as well.
5:30, baby.
Oh, 5:30. Sorry. Yeah, sorry
about
that.
Things, you know how I am. I like things nice and easy every single day.
Yeah. Well, Doc, I don't know. I appreciate you for tuning in, obviously, to the new show there. Crazy way to intro that. But let me start by saying this, Doc. Let me ask you this. All right. I'm going to start with what Brad said today because I want your thoughts on that. He joined 97, won the ticket. He talked about Za'Darius, Hutch, Anzo. We'll get to all that. I want to start with your thoughts on what he said about Za'Darius because you actually brought this up to us, kind of saying, hey, he might just not want to participate in training camp, guys. Like he might just say, screw this. I'm old and I don't want to do this. Did Brad Holmes saying what he said confirm that for you?
Absolutely. Brad Holmes confirmed the Doc's reports that I've told you all summer. He's enjoying life with Cash Doll, and it takes a lot to make a contract happen. It's training camp, bro. It's hot out there. And Dan Campbell runs a physical practice. He doesn't want any part of a Detroit Lions training camp. And so he wants to leverage the situation and he wants the best possible outcome, which is the most money. And so for Za'Darius Smith, I do think that there is a relationship with Cash Doll. She has ties locally. She's in his ear and other parts as well to hopefully tell him, come to Detroit and come back and play for the Lions. So I feel like if by the end of training camp, there's no team that's needy of a defensive end, Za'Darius Smith will be somebody that they contact potentially and maybe will add depth. Look, in the end, Za'Darius wants the best for his situation. He wants the most money, and he doesn't want to participate in no kind of Dan Campbell training camp. So we'll see what happens by the end of camp. But in the end, guys, in the NFL, at his age and his veteran experience level, it's all about the dollars and cents. If the Lions make an offer that makes sense to him, he'll come here. And if Cash Doll does her thing and makes it happen, maybe she'll influence him a little bit.
Yeah, Doc, obviously at camp today, outside of the Za'Darius Smith stuff, the Alex Anzalone thing as well, Brad had talked about how, hey, it's behind us. And obviously it's a business. This isn't just football. There's a business side of things as well. You actually spoke with Anzo, and he kind of, I don't want to say he didn't, I won't say he wasn't happy with you, but you could tell that question still hit him a little bit to where he did answer and say, hey, I'm glad it's behind me. But you could tell it felt like he didn't really mean it. What do you have to say about the Alex Anzalone situation, Brad's comments today and Anzo's comments today, now that they both kind of addressed it after they did, what was it, a $250,000 bonus and some incentives to get him to around $1 million? What are your thoughts on that whole thing?
Yeah, it's one of those deals where he can't share his true feelings. He wants to be a pro. He wants to be somebody that's a good team guy. He's a leader. Wants to have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl here in Detroit. But he's hurting because in the end, the Lions are making him prove it. No player likes to be on a one-year deal. They don't like it. Now, he got more guaranteed dollars for that, for that opportunity. So in the end, I was a little bit surprised how loose Brad Holmes was. He's like, man, our linebacker's getting a little bit old in the tooth. I couldn't believe he said that. Yeah, he's 31 years old, but he's still playing at a high level. So I was wrong. I thought that they would give him another year. They did give him more money. They addressed the contract, but this one went the way of the Lions. The Lions said, hey, we now have the next linebacker. His name is Jack Campbell. We can maybe look in the draft or go younger in free agency, but it would appear that, unless he has another all-world season, that Alex Anzalone is playing his last NFL season with the Lions. And so that's probably what he's thinking. He's like, man, I didn't earn the extension. I didn't get more money. I didn't get more years. And so publicly, that it was one of those deals where he had to accept something less than what he really wanted. And he basically took one for the team. And so he's a good team guy, still jovial, still having a good time out there, still playing well, as we saw out there. But it's the business side of the game. It can be nasty at times. It can be ruthless. And unfortunately for Anzo, it's his last year under contract with the Lions. There's maybe a chance if he balls out, they give him another year. But in terms of long-term future security, he now knows where he stands with the Detroit Lions. And it's unfortunate because the clock's ticking with his time in Motown. And there's probably not a great chance he retires in the NFL with the Lions.
Well, staying on contracts, Doc, Brad mentioned that there hasn't really been any intense dialogue between them and Aiden. Booner actually brought it up, and I agree with him. It probably has more to do with Aiden's camp than Brad, because I could see a scenario where it's like, hey, the season's already here. Aiden's dominating camp. Let's just put off conversations. Let me just go show what I'm about and why I'm worth the money. Is there do you look at that as more, well, it's kind of weird they're not having dialogue, or do you not really worry too much about it? And what's maybe a theory of yours when a deal could potentially get done, a timeline?
Well, first, let me check the internet here for the Bark guy and see what he's saying about this whole situation. I thought Sticky Ricky told me that it was finalized. It was finalizing. I thought it was done. I'm confused. But
Ricky Ricky doesn't shoot 100%, Doc. All right. He doesn't.
Okay.
hey, shout out to the Ricky Slicky because he followed me back on Twitter. The man follows 600 people, and he knows who to go to in Detroit.
Exactly. Now, here's what Slicky Doc is going to tell you, which is factual. And again,
Slicky Doc. Oh no.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Like I've told you before, it was never finalized. It's weird. How do you finalize a deal when you've not had intense talks? I don't know how that works, but I'm glad that as those discussions happened, I filled you guys in on the facts of the matter, and I'll fill you in again. Aiden has representatives, and there are two individuals who are about to get paid, Micah Parsons and Trey Hendrickson. Maybe Hendrickson won't. Maybe Jerry Jones plants his flag, but Aiden's camp is not giving the counteroffer yet because his representation should say, holy cow, Aiden's dominating camp every single day. Brad said, man, we have to let the plays continue, because if we stop the plays every time Aiden was in the backfield, we'd have no offensive plays. So Aiden's camp is like, this is great. Aiden is in the perfect leverage situation. He sits back Listen up, guys. This is the art of negotiation from Slick Doc. He waits until Micah signs. He waits until Trey Hendrickson's done. Now the majority of the other edge rushers are in place, and his representatives can say, okay, Mr. Brad Holmes, this is the market-setting contract we would like you to offer us. We would like this number. And so when that happens, I fully expect that when Aiden Hutchinson inks his name to a deal, it'll be at that time the number one deal of all time for defensive ends. He's young, he's hungry, he's passionate, he's the best defensive end in the NFC. He's one of the best on the Lions. The Lions clearly love what he brings to the table. He's playing the best right now at training camp. So it will get done when the others get done. It'll start to be intensified. Now, the Lions may up the offer than they previously made to kind of lower the cost, because the longer they wait, the higher the price. But I think the reason why Anso's not signed, the reason why they didn't go out and get big-time free agents is they know money's coming to Aiden Hutchinson, and it's a lot. So his representatives would never in a million years let him take an offer right now. It would make no sense, because the second he signs for $42 million, Micah gets 43, and then Trey Hendrickson gets 45. So Aiden wants to position himself to get it last. Now, it's a risk. Every single day he goes out there, he suffers an injury. He's still under contract for this year and next year. But like I told you multiple times on the air and in text, that's how it's going down. There was no finalizing a no deal, because if someone's finalizing a deal over 2 weeks, there's a major problem going on, because these deals, they get worked on behind the scenes, and then it's going to come out. So the word finalized in the NFL means 24 hours or less. So the contract talks will start once we see movement from the others.
Ian Rappaport, Shefty, they've all had at least one miss in their career. Slick Rick, I'm sorry he had his first one. The man's like 99 for 100, Doc. I apologize for my guy, Slick Rick. I guess we got Slick Doc now, so we'll make sure we get some merch out there for that. I do want to ask you, though, about training camp as a whole today, Doc. We were in attendance. We got to see you. It was good to see it today. But obviously, the Lions offense has been struggling throughout training camp here and there, and the defense has kind of been the big kind of talk of camp. What are your thoughts on that offense right now? What's going on? I know we had the conversation earlier that it's kind of just that left tackle position that Calvin Shepard and the defense is kind of scheming against, and you can kind of tell that's where they're getting their pressure from. What do you think is going on? Do you think once Taylor Decker gets back, this thing gets back to normal and you see it level out a little bit more?
Yeah, well, the talk of camp now is growing that the offense stinks. In the last couple of days, it hasn't been great. They have not responded to the increased pressure from Calvin Shepard. It's pretty clear he's bringing pressure from a lot of different spots. And yeah, 97 is abusing 59. It pretty much is clear that he will not be in the tackle rotation this year. If something happens to Taylor Decker and you put Giovanni Menu, you'll just basically end the career of Jared Goff. That will be a wrap. So that's not happening. You're going to go with Jamarco Jones if he's healthy, or the new addition that they just signed, Justin Herron. So that's the rotation that you'd feel more comfortable with. Taylor Decker, I'm hoping that, we had a chance to talk to Taylor Decker, and the surgery that he had on his shoulder definitely makes him feel so much better. He's nearing a return. The offensive line, yeah, it's one of those deals where the increased pressure from a variety of different spots has caused chaos amongst the offensive line, and they're in the backfield. Aiden Hutchinson's wrecking plays. And so it was just out of sorts, out of rhythm. You guys saw it. When Amon-Ra has a drop, you notice it because the crowd goes silent. From whatever murmurs you hear when Amon-Ra, it's like an event. It's like breaking news because he's so reliable. J-Mo had a couple drops, and one that resulted in an end of situation drive, one that resulted in interception. So it was not a good day for practice, and Goff doesn't seem as crisp, not connecting on the deep passes. But part of the reason is DJ Reed's all over these receivers like white on rice. He's playing great. The receiver that's playing good today is Isaac Tesla. I think that his presence there on the second team is noticeable. Big physical presence. It's just one of those deals where today was one of those days, mental errors from the offense, drops, sloppy play. A lot of it's forced from the pressure coming from the defense. Calvin Shepard, and guys, Calvin's been here. So it's just a continuation of Aaron Glenn, just advancing it and putting his own spin on it with the variety of pressures and this defense is taking it to the next level. Now, John Morton's experimenting, trying things, tossing deep balls, maneuvering, and getting his feet wet. But right now, Kelvin Shepherd owns John Morton, and I hope that next week when joint practices happen, that when the Lions face another opponent, that there's an opportunity to turn things around, because that's a true test. I do think the offense will focus more, and you'll see more plays next week. But my God, the offense was terrible today.
Yeah, Doc, I guess it leads right into my next question regarding the offense. A player we discussed, Christian Mahogany, has been one of the better players in camp, and he's been very, very bright. I know he's stayed back and been working out with Penei Sewell. He clearly has shown he's taken the next step. But what have you kind of noticed from the second-year player now? Because you have a small sample size of Mahogany, but he's this guy that no one really worries about. Even though you have a small sample size, it shows how good he's been in camp. But can you speak on that a little bit more?
Yeah. I think he's comfortable. He spoke to the media today, got a chance to listen. I think he's a student of the game. Boston College does a wonderful job prepping their athletes. You started to see it a little bit last year in terms of when he got out there, he was comfortable. I just think that the left guard spot suits him. He's powerful. He's able to engage defensive linemen. He's able to move people. He's able to use his footwork and power and speed to open creases and opportunities. So it's great for the run game. When you start to see Jahmyr Gibbs get shifty, you see the runs to the left side, you see great opportunities there. Those are largely due to the fact that Mahogany's there and doing his thing. The runs to the left have been great. You see speed, power, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Vaki. I like the opportunity. And like I said, I like the offensive line. I'm not of the opinion that I'm worried as much, maybe a little bit more about Graham Glasgow than everybody else. But remember, you guys said it too. You prefaced it very wisely. Taylor Decker's not there. So they've been exploiting Dan Skipper, Giovanni Manu, which is like Calvin Shepherd salivating every morning, wakes up probably with a hop, skip, and a jump in his step going, oh my God, I'm going to exploit this like no other. And so when Taylor Decker returns, I do expect things to stabilize. I expect that the Lions will make more plays, and the offensive line takes a little bit of time to gel. And I will take some credit. Who told you that I felt like that Dan Campbell would be a veteran, would stick with the veteran at center? And I can't take credit for that. 3-4 former offensive linemen from the Lions told me that directly when I asked. I was humble enough to ask them and say, hey, what do you think about Dan in the center? Like, Tate playing center early is crazy, because I said to them, the Eagles, the Commanders, the Ravens, they would blitz right up the A-gap right away and destroy Jared Goff. They're like, yeah, you're on it. I'm like, yeah, of course. I would blitz right up the middle every single play and make the rookie learn. And so they were like, yeah, they told me early on. It wasn't like it was an original thought that Dan Campbell and Jared Goff would be more comfortable with the veteran. Dude, the center position is not easy. Graham said it too in front of the camera. He said it takes a full year to learn and master the center position. You want that with a quarterback that's making $50 million a year? I would have been shocked if they would have risked it. Now, he probably would have had moments of success, but there would have been some level of struggle and certain challenges that would have been there for Tate Ratledge. He's a guy that they love, but they don't love him right now. So he's got to wait. So I love him at right guard. Oh my God, he's a monster. He's big, tall. I just think he's a physical presence. He's slotted perfectly to be the 2025 right guard next to Penei Sewell. I love what the run game's going to do. They're going to maul people in the fourth quarter. So I'm not concerned terribly about rough offensive line play right now. What I'm concerned about is just mental errors and sloppiness, because it was crazy. And I've said it on the Lone Wolves podcast. In that game, it was crazy to see live in person at the Hall of Fame game. It's the fourth down play. Hendon Hooker is shifting over number 19 Lovett, and he's in motion, and there's miscommunication. It's not happening as quick. And then they're forced to call a timeout. That literal exact sequence of Hooker calling Lovett into motion, some miscommunication, the exact same thing happened in practice. It's so true. You practice how you play. The offensive play wasn't crisp to the degree that you wanted to going into the game. And so I hope that Hendon Hooker does something and shows something with the twos this week. But the offensive line, guys, I don't think is going to be an issue. But they do have to step it up in practice.
Yeah, I'm just going to follow up off that, Doc. You just brought up Hendon Hooker heading into Friday. You've been one of the guys that has seen almost every single practice here. That you're at least you're allowed to go watch. What are your thoughts on this backup quarterback situation with Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen? Because we're hearing all these different opinions, different reviews. Hendon's having the best camp. Kyle's having a good camp. They both don't look good in the preseason game. Now, obviously there's the panic in the backup quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater signs elsewhere. What's your opinion on this whole backup quarterback situation here in Detroit right now?
Yeah, Doc was flirting with Teddy Bridgewater. I was like, man, I had all of 7 hours on my YouTube video. I was like, bring Teddy here. They should have been on the phone. That would have been great. That would have rejuvenated the fan base. I think he would have gave everybody calm because he would have mentored Hendon Hooker. But I failed to discount knowing how bad the situation was with quarterbacks with Tampa in terms of their backups and injuries. He gets to stay home. It's like a perfect situation for him. And so it stinks because I don't want to see the competition anymore. I don't want to see Kyle Allen versus Hendon Hooker. I want somebody, I don't want Carson Wentz, but you probably would assume that another backup might be a prototypical pocket passer, and Hendon Hooker is the only mobile quarterback on the roster. But the way I've looked at it is starting with what you show on tape in games. He was working against, and here's how my mind works a little bit with it. People say, well, he was with the threes, but he was going up against, guys on defense that probably aren't going to be in the league. So you would expect that he would have at least some advantages offensively going up against the opponents that aren't that good. So you do have to look at it from that perspective. The guys that he was playing weren't all that great, but you just wanted to see a little bit of growth, get into the offense. You wanted to see first downs and points. You didn't see any of that. He rated it a zero. Basically, I didn't show up. It was brutal to watch. It was boring as hell offensively, and he almost got hurt. I mean, you got to protect yourself first and foremost. So getting your head bounced off the ground is not what we're looking for here. It's make first downs, don't get hurt, and show us that you can play the quarterback position to some degree. And that's what I'm hoping for this week when he has an opportunity to work with Tesla, hopefully, and Brock Wright, Shane Zylstra, hopefully get an opportunity to be a security blanket for him. You just want to see a quarterback that you have some level of comfort that he can make a couple plays if Jared Goff needs to go out. And Brett Holmes kind of said it. He looked at it like, and this is the best way to put it, I'm evaluating Hendon Hooker as somebody that one day, could he be a starter? He's nowhere near that. Now, Brad's basically saying, look, we're developing this guy right now to be a backup. He's a backup. And that's what we're trying to get him to run the offense, do some things. But remember, backups only get limited reps. They don't play all the snaps. You have to split the second and third team duties, and there's another quarterback out there. So it's slow developing. It's not great. And as of now, there's no way to say calm down if something happens to Jared Goff. If anything happens to Jared Goff, it's time to panic.
Yeah, Doc, I think the biggest storyline coming out, one of the biggest ones, is how well Isaac Tesla has looked just from like a maturity standpoint, physically. And I know today Tim Patrick got a little banged up, which you can kind of comment on what you kind of know about that situation. I just found that out recently. But Isaac, on the other hand, has been ahead of the curve. Is it curb or curve? Is it curb or curve? I don't even know. Ahead of the curve, whatever.
Curve.
Ahead of the curve.
There you go, man.
I like curve better.
It's a pro right there.
He's been ahead of the curve with his development, and I think many people thought that it would take time with him. What have you kind of seen from Isaac? And last time we asked you, it was, hey, how far into the season before he starts taking Tim Patrick snaps? Can we agree that this dude's going to be a big part of what they do offensively, Doc, this year?
Vanillatron has entered Allen Park, baby. Let's get that coleslaw cooking, baby. That guy is doing his thing. Now, on my podcast yesterday, my daily, very growingly popular Lions on SI Lone Wolves training camp recap, I shouted out Boone and shouted you out, Hefe. And here's what I said. I said, these guys at crunch time asked me about Tesla, and they asked me earlier, do I think he could be wide receiver 3 or 4? And I poo-pooed that. And I said, you know what? I might have been wrong. And I said, the title of my video was, why not? Why not Isaac? And here's why. He's making plays. Tim Patrick's having an awful camp. And here's the puzzle that's now been put right in front of me. So my video title is, it's now live. You can go watch it. A lot of people liked it, commented on it. They said, hey, this guy has talent. First and foremost, Dan Campbell on the Inside the Den video said, I love this guy. 2, they traded up 30 spots for him. 3, he blocks, made a block that on Whiteside that sent him into next week, spurned the offense to score points. 4, he's sure-handed. Who's to say? Let's go. Let's get the hype going that this guy could be wide receiver 3 or 4 earlier than what's expected. And put him in there. 4 wide receiver set, 5 wide receiver sets. Showcase him. Let's see what he's got. Why hide him? If he makes mistakes, he's a rookie. The early part of the season is to get after it. You have a talented guy, get after it. Why are we treating this like a redshirt year? And so you guys are probably right. Let him get in there, let him compete. And if he's continuing to make plays, now, I think what everybody notices is that we do have to preface it with the context that a lot of this is against the Lions 2s. But I think the next step, and I think he'll have success, is if you're of that stature and height and strength, your matchup against DJ Reed is in your favor. Your matchup against Amik Robertson is in your favor. Your matchup against Terrion might be a little bit more competitive. Terrion has size and speed and can keep up with them. But I think everybody would naturally say, let's go, put him with the ones and let's see what he can do against the Lions' best defensive backs. And let's go. Let's see what he can do. And I think he would do just fine. He's working his way to get open. He's talented, very smart. And for some reason, the media is interviewing him every single day. It's like the television stations don't want to ask anybody else. They just see this big, tall, white wide receiver walking off the field, and they ask him, hey, let's talk. Every single day, guys. Every single day, I could do a video on Isaac Tesla for the last week. I think there's because of the way it's funny, because of the way this week is with all the interviews, that he's the one that's just walking proud in front of everybody. Vanillatron likes the camera, and he's never saying no. But I think, guys, let's try and interview some other guys, TV people. And TV people aren't known to be the most innovative in terms of the camera people. Let's go ask somebody else. Let's go find another guy to talk to besides Vanillatron. I feel like Lansing stations have interviewed Vanillatron every single day since he's been out in the NFL. It's like, is there another? If you're out there on the West Side, you're like, is there another player on the Lions? It's like, here we go at 6:00. We got Isaac Tesla. And the next day at 7:00, here we go. We got Isaac Tesla. He's basically giving a daily diary to these TV people. So let's get after it, interview some more people, and have a little bit more range. But the reason is he's available and he's charismatic. And he told me, he just off the cuff, I didn't formally interview him. I just was like, oh, I saw the picture of you golf. And he's like, yeah, I shot an 84 at TPC. I whooped my dad for the first time. And he just said it with confidence. And he just carries himself like a confident wide receiver. So I like his swagger. I like what he brings to the table. Now build that chemistry with Jared Goff. Let's go, baby. I like Vanillatron. I think it's weirdly unique. You guys are right. It's lazy. But you know what? Lazy can be good. Let's think of better before we hate on it. But I smile when I say Vanillatron. It's better than coleslaw. So I'm going to rank Vanillatron a little bit better. Now, it is, Vanillatron, but maybe we could think of something better over the next hour or so. We'll see.
Vanillatron. I haven't heard that. I like that, Doc. What a name. Another kind of, I actually just wanted to ask you about a position group in general. The secondary and specifically the corner room. You have DJ Reed, who sounds like he's having a really, really good camp. Terrion Arnold, I know he's hurt. We saw him on the side still kind of getting working, running a little bit, but he's had a huge camp as well. And Amik Robertson, who's also having a big camp. What are your thoughts? Does this feel like, I asked Jeff this question yesterday and said, hey, if that corner room is healthy and then you have the secondary with the safeties with Brian and Kirby, where would you rank them in the NFL? I want to get your thoughts on what you've seen from that secondary, specifically those corners throughout this camp, especially the last week or so.
Oh, yeah. Started with before the Lions broke for their summer break, I interviewed DJ Reed, and I felt the confidence. He just has that aura about him. He can stay at times step for step with J-Mo. He's confident. He's a vet, and he played in New York. So that place is no joke. You mess up one play, and you're on the back of the newspapers for days. He can handle it. I think he's a veteran leader, a great replacement, maybe even an upgrade from Carlton Davis. Terrion Arnold, it's unfortunate he had the injury, but he's going to come back hopefully by the end of the week. And so I love it. I love the starting defensive backs room. And then Amik Robertson can be a guy that can go outside. Unfortunately, Ennis Rakestraw now I got clarification earlier this week that it's unfortunate. He's got a shoulder injury, and at the end of the presser, got the clarification. I asked, and I was like, man, I wonder. I honestly thought Dan was going to punt it. I thought he was just going to be like, I can't tell you, but he had to ask it. I said, do you think it's short term, long term? And Dan answered. He's like, at best, I think it's long term. So that was a bummer, but we knew that we had to follow up with that. It's unfortunate because I would have liked to have seen Ennis on the outside develop a little bit, but one of those second round picks that might not end up being beneficial at this point in time. But secondary, the concern would be depth. Rocky Sin's okay, but he's a veteran journeyman. I do want to see a little bit more from I want to see more in the game against the Falcons, because that first showing, the Chargers were able to move up and down the field. So yeah, the starters will give you a lot of confidence moving forward, and especially too in the safety room. I'm very confident the Lions defense has a chance, especially led by the cornerbacks. Oh my goodness. Amik Robertson, 21, probably one of the most underrated players in the National Football League. He's a really good player, and he's also got stuff to prove after going down with that injury. Second play of the game. He's ready to showcase. And also too, he's also little inside info. He's also a little bit, surprised the Lions didn't give him extra years. He's on the last year of his deal, the year that he had last year. He's also got something to prove. He potentially could find himself getting paid a lot more from the Lions or somebody else next year.
Yeah, Doc, what about that safety room? Dan Jackson went out for the year, which is unfortunate. You don't get to see him compete, but Kirby and Brian. But it seems like besides that, they've had Rocky Sin playing some safety, and Maddox playing some safety. They got Ian Kennelly, they got Hallett, they got Norris, Strickland. What do you make of that safety room? Is there anyone that's kind of stood out to you besides the two starters?
Yeah, good competition, right? Right now, Kennelly and Avonte Maddox are doing their thing. Dan Jackson going down, that stinks, man. It's all complicated. And Dan was even saying like, hold this, cut someone beforehand, maybe you expose them, then somebody takes them. But if you do an injury settlement, there's some ways that you can keep them and not end the season. So it's complicated, but Dan Jackson's rookie season for the most part is no longer going to be available for him to develop. It stinks. That was like something that I didn't see live happen. And I was like, wow, it's end of season. I was like, man, that's bad news for a seventh rounder, but that opens up the opportunity for Kennelly. And I think right now he's the favorite with Avonte Maddox to be in that rotation. I do think Maurice Norris had a great practice today. He was all over the football. And look, that's one of the positions that has a lot of safety depth. Rocky Sin, I think, will be that Swiss Army knife kind of player. And I think he'll have a spot on the roster because Dan Campbell said he's starting to like his game. And so it's going to be tight. That's going to be a very tight competition. That's why these games coming up are going to be important for Rocky Sin, Kennelly. Lawrence Strickland's got to step it up a little bit. You said it, Hefe. That safety room is it's competitive and it's deep, and there's only a few spots. So those are going to be the ones that are going to be challenging. But stay tuned on Saturday after the game. The DOC is going to put out a 53-man roster, and I'll set the scene on who's the favorite.
Another. I keep asking these position groups, Doc, because it's interesting to me how this whole thing's kind of shaping out over the last few weeks. This edge room with Keith Cooper, Ahmed Hassanin, AQM, Marcus Davenport. What's the confidence level with those guys? Because it seems like Keith Cooper's starting to get first team snaps in training camp, and then Ahmed's starting to get those second teams, and he's starting to look from the sounds of it sounds like he's starting to take progressing a lot faster than what people were expecting. What are your thoughts on some of those guys in that room?
Yeah, I like Keith Cooper. Listen, Keith Cooper gets his number written down every single day. He hustles, he tries. He earned a spot on the team on a tryout, so he's got the game. And I like his growth. I like the fact that he's got the ability to rush the passer. He uses his power very well. I think he's comfortable. And I do think he gained confidence from a tryout and then doing what the coaching staff wants every single day. So, and also too, credit to Casey Rogers is developing these guys, and also the vets in the room. The defensive line room is pretty solid in there, and there's opportunities for guys to get after it. So I'm impressed. I like what I'm seeing. It's a nice competition. And one of the question marks that a lot of people did have was, what's the depth behind Aiden and Marcus? And so far, Nate Lynn's doing a good job. You have Keith Cooper in the interior doing some things. You see the versatility that he can bring to the table. He wins a lot of his one-on-one reps in the pit. Man, he's got speed, power. He's relentless, and I do think he's coachable. So Keith Cooper definitely working his way to serious consideration to be on the roster. And I do think there's no chance that he would, based on the buzz and what people are seeing, potentially on film that if the Lions don't put him on the roster, someone's going to take him. So I think he's got an opportunity to do some things. And I think that's part of the reason why also too the team would be comfortable without Za'Darius Smith. They have some young pieces that are learning and developing and are already in the system. So it's been good. They're playing well. They're bullying the third team offensive line pretty well. And now you're seeing Keith Cooper work his way up. And then Ahmed Hassaneins is a warrior. He just grinds it out every single practice. And he's a physical specimen. And I like his growth and development week by week. He's just going to need to match his intensity with football IQ. And as he grows and understands his gap responsibilities, understands as the game will slow down for him, man, the Lions' young talent is not bad. Now the next step will be for them in game action. If you're counted on against the highest of high-level competitions, what do you do? But the starters, man, the starting front four is pretty sick and gives the Lions a good chance to compete.
Yeah, what did you make of because one thing that we keep writing down is Amon-Ra St. Brown just consistently being the safety blanket for Jared Goff, and we've mentioned it here on the show. Like J-Mo's he's had such an impressive training camp. He obviously didn't have a great day today, just had a couple drops, but Amon-Ra was there. He's been kind of steady Eddie. What have you kind of made of the camp Amon-Ra has had in comparison to kind of the J-Mo hype, and not, letting fans know, like, let's not forget about the all-pro guy that's always coming up clutch in these scrimmages and these situational drills. It seems like Jared just finds Amon-Ra and he comes down with it every single time, Doc.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody important is talking about this, but do you think people are forgetting how elite Amon-Ra St. Brown is? I don't know if anybody's talking about it, but let me say it again. Listen, Amon-Ra's elite, and nobody should forget it. And I know you guys won't let anybody forget it either. He's amazing. Number 14, he's reliable. He's a great player. He does everything that you would ever ask for. Great on the field, great off the field. He carries himself well. The great thing about him is, he's got that competitive mindset. A day like today, he's going to be out there on the jugs machine getting after it. Look, he's going to have a bad day. It just happens. But when Jared Goff needs to play or anything needs to be moved for momentum's sake, it's Amon-Ra St. Brown. Oh my goodness. There's not much more positive you can say about him. And I do think that has to rub off on J-Mo. You see a guy that makes $30 million a year, probably still the hardest working man on the team. You would never know, other than the crazily expensive car that he's got, that guy is rolling in the dough. He's humble, very wise, and you just like the fact that, hey, every year goes to Germany, cultured, takes his teammates, wants to expand the game worldwide. Listen, other than the one time he punted on my J-Mo question, which I should joke with him about it. Listen, I love the fact he does podcasts. He's got all the tools. He's social, very nice. Like I said, I just love interacting with him. There's certain guys on the team. Amon-Ra St. Brown makes you want to go to work. You want to ask him questions. You want to get his time and pick his brain on football. Amik Robertson, man, that guy's personable. Like, he gets it. Like, he talks and he has charisma. Amon-Ra has it all. And what I love about it is you can clearly see it, that the moment that he felt like he was disrespected by the league, he came in saying, I'm going to show the whole league year in, year out that the mistake you made by making me a 4th round pick will never, ever be forgotten. And it's just going to be great. And that's why the relationship with Goff is great. It's a pleasure to watch. Like, you just see masterful performances, and his presence makes DJ Reed better. His presence makes Amik Robertson better. You know that if you're not on your P's and Q's, your footwork's not great, you're out of position, he'll embarrass you. And so, like your guys' great video, your great 45-second video online said, we should not forget that Amon-Ra St. Brown is elite and is going to be one of the top 5 wide receivers in the league.
Hey, I do want to get kind of your opinion on this, Doc. We're what 3 weeks into camp. Who are guys right now that are sitting on the bubble that at least, let's say, fans didn't expect initially to be on the bubble, that right now you think might be fighting for a job over the next 2 or 3 games in the preseason?
Yeah, no, I think a lot of the bubble guys are, battling. I do think the linebacker spot, Trevor Nowaski, still battling. Colby Sorsdahl, I think, is kind of right on that 53 spot. He did have a good performance. I do think at this point in time, Broderick Martin, unfortunately, one of the developmental guys, he wasn't there the last couple of days. And I'm just disappointed that he hasn't done anything to get his number noticed. And it's unfortunate. I just feel like, man, it's going to be an uphill climb. And I don't expect in the next wave of 53-man rosters, I would be surprised if anybody put him on it. It's disappointing. I do think, like I said, the safety battle is tight. You might think maybe if they go younger, Avonte Maddox, even though he made a play, you might go Kennelly and somebody else. You never know. You know, if Strickland continues to rise, you might go Young. You might go Rocky Sin and somebody else. So there's competition with veterans that you would say, you know, might not be based on talent, but role. Like if Avonte Maddox has a different kind of role than maybe he wants, maybe he ends up not sticking around. But I think he makes the team. But there's a lot of guys that you would really think are battling. But along the offensive line, I do think that, you know, guys like Neese got to get after it. Egwakun's got to continue to showcase what he's about. There's a lot of guys on the roster that are interesting. Unfortunately, what stinks is, and when you notice that there's a 53-man roster and there's 90, and you realize, man, Tom Kennedy tries hard and he just works and make plays. But unfortunately, you know, he's always one of those guys that's just the 54th best guy on the roster, you know, because of his size, speed, and he's just always given the job to compete, but you don't really think he's going to make it. It's unfortunate, you know, because he's talented. He works hard. He makes plays. He got time with the ones. And I just think that the coaching staff loves the way in which he's maximized his talent. But I don't think his talent's ever going to be top 53. I think his talent is, you know, practice squad and great scout team and great leader. But, man, that guy works hard. And you just got to acknowledge it. He works hard and doesn't make any noise. I don't even think he likes talking to the media. But in the end, I just value somebody that just shows up, and you know that they're trying their absolute best to every single day showcase something. But my goodness, you know, we'll see as Tom Kennedy progresses. I just wanted to say, hey, man, we notice how hard you're working, and, you know, hopefully one day you make a roster, because for a guy like that, he'll appreciate a roster spot probably more than 98% of NFL players.
Yeah, well, Doc, I want to transition kind of into the preseason game on Friday and ask you about a player that I thought had a decent preseason showing up and down, and then training camp right before that, Dan said one of his best practices, Giovanni Manu. I know Dan Skipper's out. Taylor Decker's still working back, so he's had a lot of opportunity. What have you kind of seen from him from a growth perspective, and what are your expectations for him for Friday's preseason game?
Yeah, it's up and down. Look, there are some reps where he's dominant, can move the guy, and there's other reps where a swim move easily beats him. It's up and down. It's what you'd expect. Some reps are crazy where he showcases his power and speed, others where he gets locked in his footwork and is not able to maintain his leverage and gets beat by Aiden Hutchinson. But, I mean, that's the best education you're ever going to have in life, is to learn from losing against Aiden Hutchinson. So it's one of those deals where it's a long-term play in this situation. So he's not going to be, you know, I don't think in the tackle rotation. I think you would naturally put Dan Skipper and his experience a little bit over him, but it's unfortunate. I do think so far Heron's done a decent job. And so it's in terms of like development, it's just up and down, because he has the ability, the size and the speed and the strength, but at times it just you got to put it all together. It's like a choreographed move. And these defensive ends guys are ruthless. Like, they're not sitting there worrying about your hand placement and worrying about your footwork and lateral movement and speed and ability to change direction. They don't care. It's full speed ahead to the quarterback. Good luck trying to stop it. So there's some plays where Manu puts his hands on the defensive end and he moves them out of the way, and it's locked in and he's stable and anchoring. And the next rep, he's getting bull rushed over and he's 5 feet into Jared Goff. And you're like, oh my God. It's something where he's got to just develop, learn, grow, take the tutelage of Taylor Decker, get over the hump each and every day. But he's far away from being a contributor at the National Football League level.
Well, let me ask you this then. Anything else you're kind of looking forward to seeing in the preseason game, storyline wise, players? By the time the preseason game's over, what are things you want to take away from it, Doc? What are some positives, or at least information you want to find out from the game?
Well, yeah, first and foremost, I want to also support you, Jeff, in your life change. You know, it's one of those deals where I support you no matter what your situation in life is. Look, we're always going to be boys, even if you decide not to be anymore. It's one of those deals where, look, sources are telling me, you know, you've made a life change away from this program. So, oh, and also too, you're thinking about that. Lukas gets in. So I was thinking about something else, but oh my goodness, if you ever need support, you know, you got it from the DOC, man, no matter what, no judgments, none at all. You know, if you want to go as Jane or whatever it is you're trying to.
All right, Doc. I mean, no, I don't want to go as Jane. All right.
Okay. Oh, Lukas is lying. Gosh darn it, Lukas. Don't lie up here. I thought it was real.
I mean, this guy. Lukas. I mean, what are we doing here? All right.
I don't know. It's 2025. People switch on the drop of a hat. I'm a psychologist. That's how it goes. One day you're a guy. The next day you're a gal. It's 2025. I didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, Doc. Go ahead.
No, you're not wrong. You know, you're not wrong. You know, what would you ask me again?
Anything else you're looking forward to seeing?
Yeah,
What are some things after the game you're like, I want to see this in the preseason game?
Yes. I definitely want to see the running backs. It stung too because Vaki got hurt. I mean, literally a reporter talked to him and he's like, I'm ready to go. And then today he's not at practice. So I don't know if his game is going to be there on Friday. I want to continue to see Tesla, Hassani, the rookies. I do want to see Tate Ratledge and Tyleek Williams in this game. Dan said, hey, this guy's got to get in better shape. Let's go. No better shape than playing and getting some experience. You know, I'm excited to see, hopefully, Hendon Hooker toss the football and look like a quarterback. I feel like when you have a performance that bad, you got to lock in. So you got to get after it, and you got to be able to, you know, listen, you can have a 0 performance, but the next one can't be a 0. You got to go from 0 to hero if you're a hooker. You know what I mean? So you got to get after it. If you're number 2 and you're after it, you got to get down with the cause. I want to see more points. My goodness. And then the rest of training camp, I want to see the offense look proficient in these situational drills, moving up and down the field, touchdowns, not have Aiden wreck a practice. I want to see what John Morton's offense can be described as. Right now, it's described as a disorganized mess. So I want to see some progress in the next week. And then finally, guys, listen, I don't know, nobody's saying it because he's a new dad, but dang it, you're making $50 million a year. Jared Goff's got to step it up. He had a bad week. I didn't see nothing from him. He had a bad week, and this team goes as Jared Goff goes. And this is compared to his standard. Good quarterback, elite quarterback, but he's looking like a 4th-year guy that's just getting comfortable. Where's the elite play? Get after it. His last throw on Monday was horrible. Yeah, it was a heave, but the heave was horrible. He threw a duck. Now, he's done this before. Preface it. It's training camp. He's a new dad. But this team goes as Jared goes. And if Jared plays like that, then the practices are going to be awful. QB1, 1-6 has to get after it and report for duty. Let's go. This week, there was no Jared Goff. Where were you? You need more of QB1, no matter what. And he'll do it. Listen,
you got him, Doc.
He'll do it. This week was not good. You were out there. Did you see anything of note regarding your quarterback? Nothing.
Yeah. They're all, they were struggling. The offense
was struggling. And so the offensive leader is Jared Goff. So let's go. Step it up.
Well, Doc, we got some mailbag questions I want to get to here. Lucas, start us off. Damn you, Klotzy. Damn you. He says, Doc, what would be your confidence level 1 to 10 if Manu had to step in because of injury, being in year 2 as a 4th-round pick, in parentheses, same round as Amon-Ra was taken?
Oh, I think Lucas has it. And guys, the chat's lit up, man. It's fun. You guys have some great names in there. Keep them coming. Jeff's loving it. Jafika, Jafinda.
I mean, what are we doing? We're
helping in your life transition.
Doc,
what are you talking about? We know
Hey,
you-
Stephen David, Stephanie, but they call her Jeffany. What a throw, man.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
And
Y'all
you
are
know,
sick
again,
bastards.
we always want Hefe to know that the chat would support you too if you wanted to change your name to something even more wild. We would
I
always
don't
support
want
you.
to. I don't want to be a woman, Doc. I'd rather be
Okay.
in with women. I
Okay.
don't want to be a woman. So there you go.
Okay, that's okay. No
Glad
problem.
we got past that one. All right.
Let's get past that. My confidence would be a 2. I don't think, like I said, I don't think he'll be in the rotation. He'll be on the team. He'll develop, but he needs more work. We're starting at least the second half of the year to even consider that. No way, Jose. That's not happening. He hasn't looked good at all. Aiden Hutchinson abused him. Aiden Hutchinson made another $1 million today off of all the sacks. He probably had 10 sacks today. Or he started the practice with a tackle for loss and had multiple sacks, and he was just all over the place. And a lot of it was on 59.
All right, next question comes from Ben Blue. Doc Mailbag with Rakestraw looking to be injury prone and with the possibility of Amik leaving in free agency next offseason. Do you think the Lions will take another CB high within the next 2 years?
Yeah, right on. Ben Blue knows what's up. I think Amik earns it, man. He's a Detroiter. That guy's a Detroiter. Now the contract could get too high. It stinks, man. But the Lions. The Lions could, and it's wild to think, could let Amik go and trust Ennis. He's a draft pick. And guys, you know it. And there's what we want and what Brad does. And what Brad does is he loves his draft picks. They get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chances. And so he loves Ennis Rakestraw, and he's a second-round pick. You don't want to be proven wrong. So there's a chance they let Amik go and trust Amik. There's a chance they let Amik Robertson leave, take a nice payday, and play Ennis Rakestraw and hope. That's the way it is.
It's like a 5% chance that Ennis Rakestraw's healthy.
I think it's more. I think that he's going to have a chance to have a career. He's got talent, but yeah, his body's got to get right. And unfortunately, he's gone the way of some players that are struggling early. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people have started to doubt what he can do, and he's got to show it. Now he's in the show it phase, especially if the long-term injury is a season-long one.
By the way, El Guapo, thank you for the $2. It's called Tesla Model X because he's working at X receiver. That's what El Guapo
No doubt.
said.
Give these guys a potential name for Hefe and a potential nickname for Isaac Tesla. Those are funny to read, man.
Cortisol says Doc Mailbag, in the event Terran Arnold is a complete bust, how should the Lions address the cornerback position?
Man, Cortisol. Oh, I don't think Terry Arnold doesn't seem like a bust to me. It feels like he's talented. He's learned from his mistakes. He's got another mentor in DJ Reed. But draft in free agency, just like everybody else. You get 2 new ones. You were able to target Amik Robertson. You found somebody that's gritty. Brad Holmes knows the league inside and out. I would expect that the draft next year could potentially feature a cornerback early in the draft.
Well, he has another question. Does the Lions' draft philosophy of drafting project players change if they miss the playoffs? You might even be able to add injured players in here, Doc, after the Rakestraw stuff, because injured players seem to be not working either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, look, I do think that they will always target players that they believe have an upside, but not to the degree where you risk moving up, or you maybe do it in the 5th round, a little bit lower. And I do think that it would behoove the team in the next couple of years because the window's there. You feel like with Goff and with Aiden and Amon-Ra and Panay, there's a window. So there's no more projects. You had 3 of them, and none of them are playing well enough right now to give you confidence. Hendon Hooker, and look, that's 5 players, guys, that could be contributing to a Super Bowl. Levi Onwuzurike, you drafted. Ennis Rakestraw, Hendon Hooker, Giovanni Manu, Broderick Martin. I mean, 5 players. That's a lot. And so and as a GM, they're never going to have a perfect record, but there are some picks that you could say, well, if you didn't make them, this team would be further along in the power rankings as being viewed as a Super Bowl favorite as opposed to just being in the mix.
Who Dad says Doc Mailbag, DJ Reader having a good camp? ? How is he and Tyleek looking together? Or
better.
maybe period, having a good camp, period.
Who dat? Better. He's having a great camp, moving well, power, clog in the middle, helping Tyreek get into those gaps. Oh my goodness. DJ Reader's having quietly having a great camp. He said today he's fully healthy. He feels good, moving well. He's rugged, man. To play at that spot in the interior, you got to be rugged. So I love seeing DJ Reader because of how hard he worked to get back, and he's integral. And let's keep that man healthy. He's going to do some great things for the Lions defensive line.
Ben Burns says, Mailbag, who wins in a race between JMO and Reek at joint practice?
Oh, do they set it up? Dude, they have to, right? They have to. That's funny.
They have. I feel like that'd be a missed
You know what?
opportunity.
Hey, chat, we're all here. Booner should do it. Easy on Tuesday. We got to tag Tyreek. We got to tag JMO and say, let's race. Let's see. We want to see who wins the race. Let's go in the chat. Let's start it on Tuesday. Let these guys know we want to see the race. We want to see these guys get down. You imagine? Oh my goodness. That'd be NFL news, man. That'd be great. At this point in time, I'm going with the hometown guy, baby. JMO by a mile. He handles business. He turns it on. Tyreek will get there stride for stride for the first, let's say if we're going to do a 100-yard dash, first 40, 50 yards, and then JMO turns on the jets and just flies by and wins by a second or two. JMO, baby.
Well, this is more of a statement. I'm just clearing the rumor up. Are you throwing dildos at WNBA games, Doc, or is that you?
I will say that those people
are talking, Doc. We don't know if
people are talking. Green dildos hitting the WNBA court is very unique in that I'm not sure the statement it's trying to make. Are you guys inviting these gals like for a date? Is this a way of showcasing that?
This is unbelievable.
I'm
this is
wondering
unbelievable that this is getting broken down.
What's the purpose? Like, are you trying to get their attention? Are you trying to score a date? There's a lot of interesting ways. And also, too, the unique nature of throwing multiple green dildos. You know, it's at Michigan State, those were aplenty. And I have vivid memories of seeing a lot of those things. And it just brings back good memories. But, guys, let's be honest. It's a sporting event. I don't think it's the right mating call. I think we should dial it back a little bit. If you want their attention, slide in their DMs. But, yeah, I think we should stop throwing dildos out on court. Now, if we want to step it up a notch, let's see if we can get them out on the football field when the opponent is like near the end zone, because that also presents a unique challenge. Because does a football player touch it? Does he acknowledge it? Does he look at it? Does the ref like take it off the field? So let's do it at the football stadium.
This is just a question that Jeff never needed to put on the screen.
Yeah,
this is just one that we could have just completely just ignored. I mean, this is we never had to bring this one up, Jeff. I don't know.
It's important. The dildo analyzation is very important in the realm of sports, and especially because it's happening in the WNBA and they're green. What's the purpose of the bright green?
Oh my gosh.
There has to be some subliminal message. It must be some way to get these gals' attention. I'm not sure.
Hey, by the way, shout out Rando's
Rando, man.
Rando, appreciate the $10. Says, don't ever lock us out the chat like your old employer did. You guys helped this veteran with depression a lot. Doc, well, by the way, thank you for your service, Rando.
Appreciate that, Rando. Love the service. Thank you so much.
He said, Doc, could any vets get traded? Answer that one, Doc.
Rando, much appreciation for your service. And I'm glad. Listen, man, take care of your mental health. Always look on the bright side. Forgiveness, acceptance, smile, laugh. People battling depression, man, I feel for you deeply. It's a battle, man. It's a daily battle. But definitely, hopefully we made you laugh. Hopefully we, the dildo analyzation expert, the doc, diverted your attention away from serious stuff for a few moments. Do any vets get traded from the Lions? I don't think any vets get traded. It's tough to make trades nowadays at this point in time in the season. I do think that the waiver wire will be very key, very interesting to watch. I do think the Lions will be shoppers, and they'll look maybe potentially to an offensive lineman, maybe even for more depth. And they potentially could look at cornerback help if the rest of the preseason doesn't go well. The waiver wire will be fun when players start getting cut.
Rashawn says, Mailbag, are you more confident in Tesla or Hassanin to make an impact by the end of the season? Only saying this because there's less qualified edges on the team.
I think there's more edges than what people think. But I do think that Tesla eventually, I think in the offense, based on the fact that, the team traded up that many spots, is going to have some level of investment in wanting to get his skill set. I think with Hassanin, it's they're definitely taking the tact of sit back, learn, understand the fundamentals of the game, what we're looking for, gap responsibility, understanding the full role of the job. And so that might take a little bit more longer. Both will have impact. I do think Hassanin will get in there on special teams and he'll have some more impact. But offensively, I think that there's more of a chance. If Tim Patrick, he's a guy that's been a journeyman. So there's no guarantee. We're all hopeful that he takes the step forward this year. But if he takes a step back or is not on the same page anymore, then then one of the biggest options, most people will clamor for Tesla. So I always would pick a little bit the higher draft pick, especially with the talent that he's showcased so far.
Let's see. Ghetto Boy wants his mailbag. Not a question, but Aiden Childs will lead us to the college football playoffs this year. Believe me later.
Ghetto Boy Juan, let's go. Hype me up, baby. Let's go, baby.
I mean, Doc,
I just want
you
to win.
you just better hope you get to a bowl game. Like that's all you better hope for.
We're hopeful for some wins. Beat Michigan. That's all we can hope for.
That won't happen.
The stadium is undergoing some renovation. Ghetto Boy, let's go. MSU is a program that I do think has taken a step back and fell behind the NIL situation. They're not flashing the green dollars that people are excited for. Hopefully, the new collective with the new athletic program and the new management gets in there and gets some of these dollars. It's all about dollars, man. You got to pay. And if you're not paying, you're falling behind. Aiden Childs last year underwhelmed, man. The throws at times looked a little bit brutal. He's got to learn the quarterback position and play it at the highest level. Love his athleticism. Love what he brings to the table. But Michigan State is, even if you stay even in terms of how much you're compensating these players, you're falling behind. There are programs, I think I read somewhere, I was listening to the radio, like Texas Tech paid like $55 million to their players and barely did anything impactful. I'm like, oh my God, these budgets for these players are crazy. And they just have to continue to start that process of understanding the impact of NIL. And right now, nobody that's a fan of Spartans really has high expectations for them. So I hope that the low expectations brings back a big return for the Spartans.
Which it won't.
C. Murkdia says, Doc, mailbag, could you provide a more depth insight on what is wrong with the offense? Also, how does the Gibbs David packages look?
Oh man, look at that. That's what I talked about on my latest Lone Wolves podcast. Go check it out on YouTube, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. Here's what's going on. What's wrong with the offense is the defense is pressuring at such a high rate that there's no open space. Within a minute of the ball being delivered, there's a guy trying to punch the ball out. The Lions defense is physical. The separation hasn't been as great. The deep plays haven't been there because the coverage has been great, largely due to the pressure, the blitz. Kelvin Shepard is blitzing. Today I saw Derek Barnes run in there, Kirby Joseph, Alex Anzalone was running free in there. So there's creative pressures being put in there. Now, this defense was aggressive last year, but this is at a different level of execution. So I'm liking it. And so there's mental errors with the offense because they're a little bit rattled. So I do think they regroup. They get some momentum plays early, and maybe they just got to stop with the early deep balls. Just start working their way inside out. Start with the screens to JMO and end around. Start with Jahmyr Gibbs. Work your way out, get some confidence, and then take some deep shots. How do the Gibbs David packages look? They look as you would expect they look. They look freaking awesome. And when it happens, I expect that defenses are going to have to declare how they're going to cover it. It gives the offense a chance. But you also, too, you have to limit that because you are trying to prolong the careers of both these guys. And so you take advantage of it when you can. And I hope that this Lions team gets a chance to see it.
Last question. This is more of a me and Boone question. Cortisol says, Doc, mailbag, who eats an entire hot and ready pizza the fastest, Jeff or Boone? I think, Doc, I don't know. I think I could get Boone in this. I think I can get Boone in this pizza.
What makes you think that?
Well, are we just going strictly off? I mean, don't sleep on me now, Boone. All right.
I think you eat like if you sat down and had a couple pieces, you can go fast. But I think longevity, when it comes to stamina, I think you would run out really fast.
Okay. No, my first thought was Booner looks like he's taken down a couple pizzas in his life.
Whoa, what?
I mean,
I'm messing around.
Well, actually, Doc, Boone's been on a weight journey. He's lost a lot.
I was gonna say, Booner, you look a little different, looking like
No
you're taking
pizza
care of
for
yourself, my
Boone.
man.
I'm probably I think I'm 2 pounds away from being 20 pounds down in the last month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah,
I'm
Doc.
I'm kidding around.
That's why I don't think Boone can do it. I don't think.
I think I could do it. Listen, hey, man. I would step up when my number's called. I come to work, man. So we could do it if you want.
We have not established the parameters. Pineapple, yes or no on pizza?
No way.
Cut them off. Cut them off. Hawaiian pizzas are the best. Grilled ham and pineapple is the best. You can't beat it with the bacon. Cut them off.
I've never seen it. I guess Doc's not Italian.
Erroneous. Pineapple on pizza is the best. Me and my daughter love it. Love the Hawaiian pizzas.
Okay, well, your daughter gets a pass. Okay, but
you don't, Doc. You just don't know food,
pineapple
man.
on pizza is a must. My
The
two
worst.
Sausage and onions, 1. That's my favorite. And then 2, Hawaiian, baby, with bacon. Oh man, Jets, it's great. Pineapple on pizza is a win. You guys are wrong. I'm clearly right. The chat will universally say I'm right.
All right, you know
Dude,
what? That's
Doc, what?
Yeah, that
pineapple on pizza is delicious. So order it, and then you'll be like, you know what? Doc is right.
I've had it. It's the worst thing ever.
Oh my God. Erroneous. Cut this man's mic off.
Fruit on pizza.
Cut this man's mic
Why don't you throw some peaches on there while you're at it, Doc? Or like some
just
some
start putting
apples.
This is unacceptable food discussion. Pineapple on pizza is a staple and is delicious. And
It's disrespectful to the Italian community.
I think that
That's what
I don't
that
care
is.
about the Italian community. They besmirched the whole culture with some of the things they've done. in their
What's the
history.
biggest food in your culture, Doc?
The biggest food in our culture? I mean, shawarmas.
Let's throw some pineapples on some shawarmas.
Let's go. Oh, pickles and pineapple. Now we're talking. I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna walk up and put a video and be like, and see the guy's face and be like, I'd like a shawarma, extra garlic, and some pineapple pickles, please.
Yeah. Your ancestors would turn over in their grave, Doc. You put pineapple on a shawarma. I mean, what are we doing here? All right.
Yeah, everyone knows pineapple on pizza is for winners, and everybody that doesn't like it, erroneous comments. Your food takes have now been diminished because you need to fully understand and appreciate how delicious it is and how good it tastes. It's really good, especially hot. And when you reheat it, oh my goodness.
Wow.
Hot pineapple. I just can't wrap my head around it. I've only had cold, fresh, ice cold pineapple. Like a good, just.
Yeah.
Now we know why you've been married so long, Doc. It's those pineapples, man. I know.
Pineapples.
It's the pineapples. Appreciate you as always, Doc. Keep up the great work, my friend. We'll catch you next Wednesday. All right.
I look forward to it, fellas. Hey,
appreciate it, Doc.
It was really great to see you guys at camp. I look forward to it. Peace.
Oh, we always go.
Pineapple.
Pineapple.
Peace.
No pineapples.
There you go.
And he's gone.
And he's gone. He always has something to say before he leaves that just fires everyone up.
Yeah, fair enough.
Pineapple is definitely on brand. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely on brand.
I just can't. I personally can't do it, Jeff.
I will listen. I actually back in high school, my first job ever was at a Hungry Howie's.
Okay.
Right? I worked there when I was 15 years old.
Congratulations, first off.
And you know what I did when I don't think that was my first job ever, but that was my first real job. But you know what I got when I was working at Hungry Howie's? I tried pineapple on pizza, and that was the last time I ate pineapple on pizza.
I can't do it. Just have a normal. Listen, if someone wants to do it, all right, I go ahead. I'm just not going to eat it personally. I'll just let me get a half of maybe some pepperoni or just cheese. I'd rather just do cheese. I like cheese pizza. I know it sounds pretty plain.
Oh no, cheese is fine. Cheese is fine.
Give me
I would rather have
cheese with some oregano on it and some Parmesan, and I'm cool to go.
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, we got a couple mailbag questions. One, I just want to address Rando. He says, "Mailbag, have you ever had anchovies?" No,
Never.
Anchovies, I'm not touching on pizza.
I've heard it's good though. I've never done it.
Mixed reviews. I think it's probably more. It's less crazy than pineapple, but just because I know people that like anchovies like that, I don't like anchovies. All right, I don't. So I'm gonna, I will never have that,
that's fair.
Randall.
I probably
but
would never try
you
it. Maybe
like
I'll
it-
try it. If someone's like, "Hey, here you go, Boone, take it," I'd be like, "Okay." Like I'll take a bite and just see. But no.
Rashawn says, Mailbag, let's say Hooker plays bad again. Is there any chance we cut both non-golf quarterbacks and trade for one? They won't cut both, I don't think.
I think they keep one on the practice squad and then they go get one. I don't think it ends up getting to that point though. I guess you could keep Hendon and have him as your third emergency, but if they both play bad the next 3 weeks,
it's going to be a different.
I still am under the assumption you still go get someone, in my opinion. But if you don't, I don't know. Like if this does happen, yeah, maybe potentially.
By the way, Diggity Dog, Mailbag, you only can choose one, Comer or Cross. You choose both. So let me tell you about Comer and Cross. It's a great transition. Let me tell you about the great sponsor of the show, Comer and Cross. All right. And they can take care of you. All right. We only work with the best. And Comer Cross has been working with us, and they do an excellent job. 1-day installation, concrete floor coatings. All you got to do is call the number 248-834-3488. They transform patios, pool decks, basements, even driveways, and they'll move the stuff out for you. They do. They move the stuff out for you. So call them, 248-834-3488. That's 248-834-3488, or book your free estimate at comercross.com. All right, let's get back to Mailbag. Thanks for that, Diggity Dog. Appreciate the layup.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, thanks for not forgetting.
No, I never would forget. Comer Cross never forgets. Motor City Derek, try breakfast pizza.
Breakfast pizza is good. I'll say this: growing up at school, they had I don't know, Jeff. I think you said you've never had it. The breakfast pizza with like the white sauce and the sausages. I used to get that all the time. I wish I could get one every day for breakfast right now. Those used to bang, man. Those were so good.
I think when we were at Woodward and we used to go to that Speedway right by Woodward, they used to have breakfast pizzas there.
I've had Speedway breakfast pizza. I can't do it.
It's like grimy. I mean, Speedway breakfast pizza. You know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what you're getting into. Like when you buy it, you're like, this is going to be grimy. Like
For
you
sure.
already know it's going to be grimy.
This guy Jeff's getting out of the morning show and walking over like,
no. You know who got me into it, or not into it because I didn't love it, but I tried it. Who got me to try it was Ryan Lentz in the back. Ryan swore by those things, dude. He'd be like, "You ever had the breakfast pizza?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Let's go try it."
It does feel like a Lentz thing. Shout out to Lentz.
It was
dude.
mid. It was mid. It was very mid, below mid actually.
I've had some good breakfast pizzas though. There are some good ones out there.
Yeah, I'm not hating on that.
Homemade ones, unreal.
U of M Dad says, do you see Morton running some 21 or 22 personnel with the running backs we have? Yeah, I think he's going to run that. I mean, especially with the running backs they have 21, 22 personnel. I don't think Morton's going to change a lot of that stuff. I think the deep shot stuff is it's a little dramatic. Like, is he going to take deep shots? Like, yeah, but that's what the offense was going to do regardless.
Feels like right now it
change much about the foundation of how they play ball.
Yeah. It just feels like a trial, like a what is it, a test and trial error, or what is that called?
Essentially,
yeah, it just feels like they're just trying it out right now, and they're trying to get different things out. Which obviously some stuff's just not working, but I think they're going to go back to kind of what they know is like the bread and butter of this offense.
I agree with that.
It was the same thing last year. Like JMO was kind of getting involved in training camp. They're struggling a little bit because they're trying to get JMO involved a little more, and then they eventually realized, okay, we got to find a way to naturally let this happen.
And I'm excited. We'll pay more attention to the Johnny Mo show. You'll get Friday. You'll get the preseason game. So we'll get to kind of look at more of the offense. And I know they're all
Jeff.
It's all 2s and 3s, but baked pasta or spaghetti and meatballs.
I'm taking my grandma's spaghetti and meatballs, or just pasta and meatballs.
I mean, baked
homemade
pasta.
Meatballs.
I mean, it just depends. There's a lot of things that go into this question. It's who's making it. You know what I'm saying? Who's making
your Nona? You know what you're choosing.
Spaghetti and meatballs too.
Yeah, you know what you're choosing. The OG, man.
And then I'm gonna go.
Does your Nona make her own meatballs? Like just
she's 96, so she doesn't make her stuff from scratch anymore. She does some of it from scratch, but back in the day, she would make the whole process from scratch, from the sauce to the noodles.
Yeah.
She would grow her own tomatoes in the backyard. So she's still hanging on. Hey, she's fighting right now. No,
she's going, man.
Still cooking. So good for her. But yeah, you know what? Love that woman.
My favorite meal might be my grandma's meatballs, man. She cooks those up with some pasta, homemade sauce. It's the greatest meal you'll ever have in your life.
Appreciate the chat. You guys are always making me laugh. So it's always a good time. Shout out to the doc as well. Subscribe, hit the like button on the stream. It helps push it out in the algorithm. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. We'll be back Thursday breaking down Friday's preseason game. So you're not going to want to miss that.
What time's the game Friday? Do you know?
Don't know that, but we will be live for it.
We'll be live for the game Friday.
All right. Until then,
go, baby.
Appreciate you all.
Hey, love you guys.